A very good morning to my dear students. Let's start our class. In previous class we studied about software. In software there are two classifications are there. They are system software and application software. We discussed about system software in the previous classes. So in system software, by using system software only, we can control the system. A computer is controlled by the system software. All devices in the computer also controlled by system software. One common example for system software is our operating system. So let's discuss application software today. In the previous class, we mentioned that application softwares are designed for particular applications only. So systems software provides the core functionality of the computer system, but different users need different types of applications or different types of purposes. So a new category of software is needed to satisfy all these purposes, which is known as application software. In application software also there are two categories are there. They are general purpose and customized application software. So first is general purpose software. General purpose software, as the name implies, for general usage, common things. It have bigger audience, bigger people watching it. For example, our Mozilla Firefox or Google Chrome or our Google Classroom, then Google Meet. These all are used by many people in the world. Excel sheet, Word document, WhatsApp. These all are used by a a huge amount of or bigger audience were there for these applications. So these type of applications are known as general purpose software. Example for general purpose software is Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Reader, MS Word, Excel, then our Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox. These all are the example for general purpose software. That is the first classification of application software. Next classification is customized software. Customized software means it is used to obtain a particular requirement of customer. That means some customers are there. They want a software which they have been designed for their own shop, like our supermarket shop, or buying. If we are using textile shop, then there is in textile shop there are a software by using billing. All are done by using this software. So this software is used by that corresponding people only, not commonly. Only the particular clients are used this software, which is known as customized software. For example, our supermarket uses some software, our cloth textile shop uses some software. It has some special requirements that are different. For supermarket, one type of software is there. For sports shop, another type. For textile shop, another type, and so on. These are the classification of application software. Next, there is a topic free and open source software. You all heard the term FOSS, free and open source software. Now, our government is promoting that type of software which is free. Free means, as the name implies, developers allow users to use their software freely. That means they are allowing their software publicly. We can download it from internet. So uh, its source code also available. So if any user want to modify that software, he can modify it. So Ubuntu, for example, our Ubuntu OS is a software which is a free software. More examples are our Python. We are using Python software which is free, which we can download from internet, and which we can add another functions to this Python. LibreOffice, OpenOffice, Mozilla Firefox, these are freely available and users can modify it, which is known as free and open source software, which is known as FOSS, FOSS. So it is freely available, so it is known as freeware. freeware are Skype, Adobe Reader, etc. We can download it from internet. So if we want to purchase a software like our Microsoft, we want to purchase that software, we need the manufacturer have the copyright for that software. So we want to purchase that software, that is paid software. It is known as it is purchased from vendor, which is known as proprietary software. Examples for proprietary software are our Microsoft Windows. We have to purchase that software from the developer. So it have copyright protection. Microsoft Windows, Tally, QuickHeal, etc. So a software can be either freeware or proprietary software, depends upon the terms and conditions by the manufacturer. So FOSS means free and open source software. Common example is our Ubuntu, Adobe Reader, Skype, etc. So we studied about software now, software classification, both system software and application software, and its classification also. Next, a very important topic is which is data deletion and recovery. As the name implies, data deletion means we are storing data in the digital form which is deleted by someone. So if it is accidentally happened or it is deleted by other users, these are the threats. So one of the biggest threats associated with digital data is its deletion. If suppose some data are deleted, example our software for some hardware devices, we are installing some device driver software. Suppose we are that data or that file is deleted, then what happens, that hardware will not work. So the storage devices or any devices will malfunction or crash when some digital data is deleted. So data deletion mainly deal with two options. They are accidentally delete or erase data from storage devices, or a hacker. Hacker means someone who are unauthorized person who are accessing our data. Hacker or malware such as virus also there can delete the digital data intentionally. He can delete our data intentionally, then our data will be lost. Suppose sometimes it will be huge loss for us. Sometimes our if our data will be lost, some personal files or personal data will be lost. So deleting digital store data means either it is deleted completely or changing the bits. Bits means digital data are stored in the form of bits. So changing the dit means data will be changed. Then that data will not work. So these both are considered as data deletion. If data is deleted accidentally or corrupted, then we have to there are options to recover a data, but sometimes other users are accessing our data for their purpose, then it will be deleted by them, then a problem arises. So if data is deleted, some recovery mechanisms were is there to access the data. Recovery of data is possible only if the contents marked as deleted have not been overwritten by some other data. That means if data is deleted and the contents are overwritten, that means data is lost from memory, then we cannot recover that data. So data recovery is a process of retrieving deleted, corrupted and lost data from secondary storage devices. Data are stored in hard disk or SSD, which is a secondary storage devices. Data recovery is a process of retrieving that data which is deleted by either by user or by malware. So there are some security concerns or associated with data. One is its deletion by some unauthorized person or software. So if suppose our organization data is deleted, then lots of employees, and so if it's our school, then students data will be there, all data will be deleted. It will be a problem for us. So to secure this, user is normally using passwords. Like in our Gmail, we are using username and password like that. Every organization will use some username and password for securing data from unauthorized access. Then there is another option which is encryption. Encryption means data is converted to some other forms, and there is a security key will be there. By using this key only, data can be accessed from the secondary storage devices. So that is encryption. Then sometimes if we deleted a data, then there will be a chance of unwanted recovery of data by unauthorized user. So when we are discarding our old data or broken data, we assume that the deleted data are permanently removed. However, if the storage devices reaches mischievous, then he can retrieve that data. For example, from our mobile phone. Suppose if our mobile phone is damaged, and we thought data will be lost because our mobile phone is damaged. Sometimes it will be accessed by some unauthorized users or hackers. Then they can get our data back again. So we will think that our data will be lost, but a good knowledge of hacking improves him to take our data. So if our we are if suppose one computer or mobile phone is damaged, if we are throwing somewhere, then others will take that phone or computer and he can retrieve that data by using his software, or he can make programs also. So he can easily recover data from such devices. So this is data confidentiality. We are using many mobile phones, and if our mobile phone is lost or damaged, there is a chance to recover our old data. Sometimes we will store some bank account details or passwords in that mobile. Then a user can a unwanted user or unauthorized user can easily handle that data. So these are the two types of data problem. That means if we are deleting data, our confidential data will be lost, and sometimes some unauthorized users will access our phone or damaged thing, and he can access that data. So these all are about data. Let's stop our class for now. Let's continue in next week. Thank you. Have a nice day.